There are three things in this world I can't stand: cucumber salad, wool sweaters, and creative writing. Cucumbers make me burp, and wool makes me itch. But if you gave me a choice, I would rather burp and itch at the same time than have to write something creative. You finished your essay, right, Rado? My friend Lucas asked me as we walked toward school together early one morning. I hesitated. Lucas is my best friend, and we always shoot straight with each other. Yeah, I finished it, I said. Phew, that's a relief, he said. If you hadn't, I would never forgive you, you know. Yeah, I know, I said. The problem began on the first day of the school year, when our humanities teacher, Mrs. Greenberg, promised that if nobody got an F in her class all semester, she would give us a pizza party. Just remember, she laughed, there are no F's in pizza. Here it was, the last week of the semester, and I was about to earn not just an F, but the F that would ruin everything. Because you see, I hadn't done the assignment, not one word of it. As we rounded the corner and headed up the block towards school, Jeremy and Russell, two friends from our class, caught up with us. You guys did the assignment, right? Russell asked us. Yep, Lucas answered for both of us. How about you? Of course, said Jeremy. What do we look like, idiots? I can taste that pepperoni already. Last year's class got the party, and somebody told me she let them have all the soda they wanted, too. When I get nervous, I sometimes get hives on my neck, and I could feel one beginning to prickle under my collar. What profession did you pick? Lucas asked. Doctor, Jeremy said, 'cause they get to save people and stuff. I picked truck driver, said Russell. They get to travel, eat at dinner, diners. I love diners, but my mom says they're too greasy, so we never get to go. What about you, Lucas? Star pitcher for the New York Yankees, he said. Man, can you imagine getting paid to play baseball? The assignment had been to write an essay about what you want to be when you grow up. Sounds easy enough, unless you are like me and you have no idea what you want to be. And no matter how hard you try, you can't think of even one thing that feels just the least bit right. I bet all the girls are going to say they want to be teachers, because they know Mrs. Greenberg will eat that up with a spoon, Russell said with disgust. Yeah, probably, Lucas agreed. So, what did you pick, Rado? He asked, turning to me. We were just starting up the steps of the school when a familiar cry went up from the playground. Hey, look, everybody, there goes Mark. There goes Mucus. Hey, Mucus! Lucas blushed, hung his head as we walked up the steps into the building. It happens to him all the time, poor guy. He has one of the worst names. Not only does Lucas rhyme with mucus, but even if you short it to Luke, you're still in trouble because it rhymes with puke. He's been tortured his whole life on account of that name. Having a bad name is something Lucas and I have in common. Probably part of the reason we became friends all the way back on the first day of kindergarten. My name is Rodney Curtin. My parents and my teachers call me Rod. My friends call me Rodo, and my sister, who's only 2, calls me Rara. Rodney Curtin may not be the greatest name in the world, but frontward, like that, it's not so bad. The thing is, at school, when they call out your name for attendance, they say it backwards. Lucas Bromberg becomes Bromberg, Lucas. Samantha Smith becomes Smith, Samantha. Unfortunately, I become Curtin, Rod. That's bad. As we made our way down the hall to homeroom, I felt sorry for Lucas on account of the teasing, but secretly I was relieved. He'd forgotten about the question he'd asked me. How was he going to take it when he found out that I hadn't done the assignment? After she took attendance, Mrs. Greenberg, we have her for homeroom as well as humanities, announced that she would be collecting our papers after lunch. There was still hope left. All I had to do was come up with an idea between now and then, scribble it down in time to hand it in with the others, and maybe I wouldn't have to ruin the party after all. The problem was, I still didn't have any ideas. What do I want to be? I asked myself. Come on, Curtin, think. I thought about it during math, history, and science lab, but with lunchtime only minutes away, my mind was still a complete blank. The only thing I could think of that I wanted to be was someone else, someone who had written this stupid essay already. As I looked around desperately, hoping to find some inspiration somewhere, I asked myself, do I want to be a scientist? Do I want to fix clocks, write books, build desks, make pencils? No. And then suddenly, without warning, everything shifted into slow motion as my eyes came to rest on the face of the girl sitting in the second seat, in the third row from the left. That's when it hit me. I knew what I wanted to be, what the world needed me to be. When the bell for lunch rang, I didn't join the others in the cafeteria. Instead, I took out my notebook and began to write. When the 5th period bell rang, I was already in my seat in Mrs. Greenberg's room, with a stack of 400 written sheets of paper, 4 handwritten sheets of paper in front of me, and a huge grin on my face. Why are you sitting there like a dork? Lucas asked me as he slid into the seat next to me. And where were you at lunch anyway? And another thing you never answered my question from before. What did you choose as your profession? Name expert, I told him happily. That's definitely what I want to be, a name expert. A name expert, who ever heard of that? He said. Nobody. It hasn't been invented yet. But I'm going to be the first one, I told him. Oh yeah? And what exactly are you going to do? I'm going to advise people about what not to name their kids. No offense, but that is so dumb. Why would anybody pay you to tell them what not to name their kid? Because I'm an expert, I said. Says who? He said. What's your name? What do you mean, what's my name? You know my name, Fish for Brains, Lucas snorted. Come on, just answer the question. What's your name? Lucas. And what do all the other kids call you? He hesitated uncomfortably for a second before answering. Mucus, he said quietly. Exactly, I said. See, if I had been around when your parents were deciding what to name you, I could have warned them that every name needs to be checked for bad rhymes. A kid named Leo is going to end up being called B.O. And anybody named Gabby is going to get called Flabby. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Your name is particularly bad because it's a double whammy.